Right, quick video. There won't actually be any playing in this video. I'm just going to show you my guitar collection. As you can see, starting off with Squire Classic Vibe Custom. It's the 60s version. As you can see, gloss neck. Hasn't got a skunk stripe. This particular version, made in 2014. You can see with these guitars, very good quality. One thing probably safe to say is you won't get a better 60s custom Fender type guitar, Telecaster type guitar, any cheaper than this one. New, they're retailing for about $420. I picked this one up for $220 with a trade-in for a vintage modified Strat. One thing people don't tend to show very much is the backs of guitars, so you can get a good idea of the finish of this particular guitar, which is pretty amazing. Old style tuners. Second guitar off the rack is another Classic Vibe. This particular guitar is the white maple neck version. I think it's the 50s. It's got the old style tuners. Again, looking at the back, this one's got a skunk stripe, pine body. The other one had an alder body. I picked this one up second hand off Gumtree, the UK, effectively the UK version of Craigslist. £480. So again, very good quality. Next to no money if you get them second hand. Personally, I've got to a stage now where I won't buy a new guitar unless it's something that's not available second hand. This is the butterscotch version. I think this has got the Alnico. I think this has got the Alnico 3s. Again, old style tuners. Pine body, this one. Skunk stripe on the back. These ones seem to be, of all the Telecasters, the butterscotch, it's the ones that people seem to like the most. As I say, very good quality, not expensive. This one retails new, I think currently for about $398, £400. Another Squire guitar coming up, this time Strat. The three versions of the Telecaster that I've already shown are still available. This particular Strat, the 60s, the Candy Apple Red, this is no longer available, it's been discontinued. Again, have a look at the back, it's not got a skunk stripe, which I think is the original 60s Fender. Rosewood neck, didn't have a skunk stripe. This one I picked up for £140 in a cash generator, which is, for those not familiar, it's actually a pawnbroker. I don't think they realised it was a Classic Vibe. I think they thought it was probably an Affinity model, and so had it actually advertised for at least £100 less than what it's worth. You know, these guitars go down all day long for $250. So that's the Candy Apple Red. Next Squire Classic Vibe we have is another Strat. This model is the three-tone sunburst 60s, rosewood neck, old style tuners. Nice finish. All these guitars are exceptionally well finished for the money. I put a lime green pickguard on. The original comes with a tortoiseshell pickguard. I just think it looks better with the white the lemon green pickguard. Again, there's a few chips on this model, no skunk stripe. Picked this one up off Gumtree for £160. Next guitar up is another classic vibe. This one is the 50s model, which we have a maple board. This one got some quite nice flame maple on it. Two-tone sunburst. It's the pickguard. That's the single ply pickguard. And looking at the back, gloss neck, polyester. I think this particular model is, I think it's 2012. I think they're still making this model. Again, great finish. The old style tuners. Next guitar up is I'm going to look at an acoustic. This is Sigma, sorry, AMI. Of course, those in the know that these guitars were originally made in Japan by Martin. Effectively, they chose a good Japanese maker, and I think they were making guitars after that, and it got too expensive to make them in Japan, in Korea, and then they sold the name. AMI, actually, German company, bought the name, and effectively the ability to make copies. This particular model, like most Sigmas, it's got a solid top, but laminated back and sides. This particular model has rosewood back and sides. This particular model is discontinued. It's the DR28H for herringbone. You probably see around the edge there the herringbone. Again, I think they do another version of this, a newer model. Retails for about £350. I picked this up in a pawnbroker's for £200. So again, very good value. Very similar branding style to Martin. Next guitar off the rack is the Yamaha LL6. Extremely good guitars, extremely well made, Chinese, as have all of the guitars that you've looked at so far. They've all been Chinese made. That's where you get the best value. My philosophy is don't spend more than £350 if possible. That's why I generally tend to buy second hand. This is a solid top with mahogany back and sides. Extremely good sounding guitar. Top of the range, the LL series. This has got ARE, the acoustic resonance enhancement. So it's got an aged top to give it that, sound that's 20 years old. Effectively, that's what Yamaha are trying to reproduce. So particularly nice guitar. This nice finishing, binding around the neck and the headstock. Okay, next guitar is off the rack is Masterbilt Epiphone, Chinese made. This particular guitar got extremely good finishing, headstock finishing on there, binding on the neck, gloss top, solid wood. Whole of the guitar is solid wood. This is the DR500M for mahogany, natural finish. Discontinued model. I picked this guitar up relatively cheaply on sale from a shop in Denmark Street in London. £299. I think they retailed originally for £499, so it's a good deal. Old style tuners, as you can see there. This is all a quite rushed, but my intention is to actually put these guitars on the internet individually and do a review, a better, slower review in slow time. This is the Sigma AMI Sigma. These guitars, AMI guitars, are all made post 2007 when AMI bought the brand name. 12 string this one. Again, the DR1228, solid top. Rosewood back and sides. Extremely smooth neck. Grover tuners. Nice finish back. Really nice sounding guitar. One of the nicest. So the guitars, 12 strings, I've heard for under £400. Got this in the trading for 285 new. So pretty good. Traded it in for some gear for music, acoustics, cheap acoustics. Next guitar up is the Masterbilt. Extremely nice finishing, good binding on the neck. Inlays, really nice, mother of pearl. This is the AJ 500 RCE. It's an electroacoustic, all solid wood. Natural finish top. Nice finishing on the back there, nice binding. I think it's a rosewood, a wood. Again, old style tuners. Made in Indonesia, unlike everything so far which has been made in China. But the quality's still there, certainly for the money. I bought this one with a trade-in for £150. The trade-in was a Faith guitar, so it was another all-solid wood guitar. So I got £300 for that, so not bad. Next we have is a relatively cheap bass, Korean made, Aria STB series. This is about 5 or 6 years old, this bass. It's always good to have a bass in your collection. I think I paid £150 new for this, so it's just a play around really. Maple neck. Does the job. Next guitar up is vintage. Now, those of you who have not heard of vintage guitars before, this particular brand is imported by a UK company called John Hornby Skews, based somewhere, I think Leeds or Sheffield. Nice inlays. They do very good Les Paul copies for not a lot of money. P90s, Wilkinson hardware. This particular guitar, picked it up for £179 from a dealer. I think it was in Wigan. I think it's a two-piece body, glossy style neck, old style tuners, nice playing guitar. As I say, you can pick them up for next to nothing. It's like solid mahogany body, very heavy, got the heft to it. But when I do my reviews individually of these guitars, you'll get some idea of the quality of the sound. Next guitar we have is another vintage Les Paul copy, which is the Paradise. This has got Wilkinson pickups, a little bit more expensive. The gold top new retails for about £310. This guitar, recommended retail price is about £330. Wilkinson hardware, nice finish. I picked this one up from a dealer in Ormskirk for £225. I got a slight reduction because it didn't have the strap locks on it. It's by the looks of it, two-piece body and a 3-piece neck. Interestingly, Vintage seem to make their guitars at the moment, their Les Paul copies, 3-piece neck with the scarf joint there. I don't know if you can actually see that, but also a joint on the heel, and also a central joint, which makes it particularly strong. This guitar killed over, I accidentally knocked it over and it landed on its neck, but nothing happened, it didn't break, which I think if it had been a Gibson it probably would have. So nice. I don't know at this stage what those pickups are. They're Wilkinson pickups. When I do my review I'll actually go into a bit more detail. Next guitar up is probably one of the nicest Les Paul copies that I've ever played. It's the Leopard Drop, Peat Green Lemon Drop. These are awesome guitars. You know, we get so many good reviews. Again, it's a 2-piece body, excellent finish, Wilkinson hardware. These retail for about, you can pick them up for as little as $275. I'd pick this particular guitar up. Retailer in Ormskirk, old style tuners, deluxe Clusons they look like. This looks like it's I think it's a 2011 model, but I'm not sure. Can't read the serial numbers particularly well. Again, it's a 3-piece neck, 2-piece body. Got some real heft to it. I don't think there's a lot of difference between these guitars and the low-end Gibsons, other than the price. A lot of reviewers on YouTube, you know, talk about how good they are. It's not just me, and obviously the thing to do is try a few out in shops and get a view, really. You know, a lot of guitar buying is about the name. You'll pay for the name, you'll pay for it if it's US made. Next guitar up is the is a Strat. I'll just put this lemon drop back. An Indonesian made Strat this time. This really started my serious collecting off 3 years ago, where I just thought I wanted a white Hendrix Strat. Didn't want to pay a lot of money. Did a bit of research, vintage modified instead of classic vibe this time. Old style tuners, rosewood board. Got Duncan design pickups. I wanted to go for the large headstock Strat, very Hendrix styling. Interesting that Skunk Stripe doesn't really need one because it's got a rosewood board, obviously. But I particularly wanted a large headstock. This vintage modified don't do a white large headstock Strat. It's interesting that the large headstock is known as the 70s headstock when it actually CBS first brought it out in, I think it was 66 or late 65. So it was actually popularised in the 60s, not the 70s. It's just they, Fender and the CBS, made a lot more guitars in the 70s than they did in the 60s. So that's why it's known as the 70s Strat, but it's actually, as I say, first developed in the 60s. They wanted to actually increase the size of the decal, so that's why they developed a larger neck, or designed a larger neck. Next guitar is again another Sigma guitar. It's an acoustic, electroacoustic, based on the Gibson J45. Again, you know, for the money, these retail currently for $425. I didn't buy this second hand, I bought it new because it only came out this year. Incredible sound, not an all solid wood guitar, only a solid top, but really good finishing. Look at that binding, you know, lovely neck. I know Gibson are currently doing a vintage style banner, J45. This is pretty much designed around that sort of styling. A lot more inexpensive. You know, this guitar retails for 90% cheaper than the Gibson Banner, and I don't think there's 90% difference in actual sound. This comes very close to it. Again, when I do individual videos, you'll get an opportunity to actually hear the sound. Synthetic bone nut. Yeah, lovely guitar, old style sort of tuning pegs. Next guitar is going to be another vintage. This is a guitar that's been discontinued. Let's just move this over somewhere else. They're all packed pretty tightly, these guitars. This is a vintage, again, John Hornby skews. This particular model is a discontinued model, the Mick Abrahams. Interesting thing about it, it's got P90s, but it's got a wraparound bridge, mahogany body. It's a relict. I think maybe the Icon series binding along the neck, old style tuners, nice inlays there. I've heard varying stories about this guitar, that it was discontinued because it was too close to the SG Special. Gibson didn't like it, the fact that it was such an accurate rep, so they put a bit of pressure on. Vintage, and another story I've heard is it just wasn't economical for the amount of money they were selling it for. I bought this for £280. Yeah, they just weren't making enough profit, so that's another reason why they discontinued it. But again, really nice guitar, excellent finishing, can't go wrong. I mean, I've seen these guitars advertised for you know, as little as £180. It's, you know, it's as good as an SG that cost £800. It's got Gibson on the headstock. The last guitar is a 12-string. It's a Chinese copy, Rickenbacker. Actually, a very nice guitar for the money I paid for it. £250 off AliExpress. That's including the actual import duty. So, no, I think it's quite a good copy. The pickups are not fantastic, but you get the Ricky sound off it. You know, it's not an exact copy of any particular Rickenbacker. You know, it's in the style of. So, you know, anybody that knows a lot about Rickenbacker guitars will know instantly that it's not a copy of any guitar they ever made. They did make solid body 12 strings, but not in this shape. This is far too big. The versions they did were much smaller. So there you go. That's all my guitars. So a quick run through, but as I say, I will be doing individual reviews of these guitars at a later date, so just as a starting point, gives you some idea. Okay, thanks a lot, be back soon.